Welcome to the latest webinar in Caring.com's Digital Marketing Academy. Our session today is for senior living communities, and we're focused on how to get and respond to online consumer reviews and how to be recognized with our annual Caring Stars Award for service excellence based on reviews. I'm Denise Graab, a marketing director here at Caring.com, and I'll be your featured presenter today. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. This is a one-way webcast where only the presenter speaks. However, you can ask questions at any time during the session, and I do hope you will use either the chat module or the Q&A module to submit your questions. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. One of the most common questions we get is whether or not the session is being recorded. The answer is yes. We are recording this session and we will provide the slides afterward. So tomorrow morning, you'll all get an email with those links. And at all times, we have a webinar archive on our industry website. So you'll see the link here. So that the session will be available there as well, that you can share it with your colleagues at a later date if they missed it. The sponsor of today's free webinar is Caring.com. For those of you who are getting to know us, and as a refresher for our partners, we are the leading online resource and referral service for senior living and senior care. And we're the #1 site for reviews of senior services, covering assisted living, independent living, memory care, care homes, and more. In fact, we were one of the first to offer senior living and senior care reviews, with some reviews on our website dating back to 2008. Today, there's over 277,000 consumer reviews posted on Caring.com about senior living and senior care businesses, and we add thousands every month. Each year, we compile the Caring Stars list of the best senior living communities and in-home care agencies nationwide. Again, that's based on consumer ratings and reviews. And this was the first of its kind in our industry, and I'm so excited to share more information with you about that toward the end of our presentation, particularly for those of you who want to qualify for the Caring Stars 2022 award. Overall, we are known for hosting a very high integrity reviews program. We have senior care experts, not algorithms, reading the reviews before they get posted on our website. We have some very well-established guidelines that determine which reviews get published and which are taken down. And we have customer service staff available by phone or email if there's ever help needed with a reviews issue. For those of you wondering who I am or why I'm the featured presenter today, I've been at Caring for over 10 years. I have extensive experience in social media marketing and reviews in particular. I was part of the original expert panel who created the review guidelines, and I've been a key player in the program in the years since then, including as co-creator and manager of the Caring Stars program. In my current role, I am so lucky I get to support both consumers adding their senior living and senior care reviews to help others just like them, and I get to work with our directory partners to help them manage and optimize their online reputation. A lesser known fact about me is that before I joined the team at Caring, I was curating thousands of reviews for an education website. And in my personal life, I'm an avid reviewer of the businesses I use. So overall, I have a lot of experience with online reviews, and I'm excited to share these insights with you today. I'll start with some key facts about why consumer reviews are so important to your senior living business. I'll then discuss ways you can get reviews to amass a collection on your listing worthy of Caring Stars consideration. We purposefully set the bar high for this award, and I'm going to share you some specific tips to help you qualify. One zinger that disqualifies senior living communities every year is the failure to respond to negative 1-star and 2-star reviews. So we'll discuss in this session why you should respond to online reviews and some best practices to help you do it well. And we'll do a Q&A at the end, as I promised. For those who joined a little bit late, we are recording this session and we will circulate the slides and the recording afterward. Okay, without further ado, let's dive into the presentation. Why should you focus on consumer reviews as a priority in your digital marketing? Here's a question, another question for you. Have you Googled your community's name and read the reviews online about your business? I recommend you do that. You should see what boomers and seniors are seeing online about your organization. The majority of prospective customers are now online daily. They're using smartphones, tablets, social networks, and sites like Caring. This is particularly true for the adult daughters and daughter-in-laws that are researching senior living options for their elderly parents or a spouse's parent. And with the rise of the internet and online shopping, there's been an accumulation of millions of reviews across the web. Few, if any, industries are immune. And the 2020 pandemic only increased engagement with reviews online. In today's modern marketplace, your potential residents and their families are checking out your online reputation first, and they're expressing interest, taking tours, or returning your calls when they've seen enough reviews to persuade them to do so. And even if seniors and their family members are getting a recommendation for your community from a doctor or a friend or a hospital discharge planner, many will still go online to read reviews about the suggested business. So in senior living, some of my colleagues refer to this as the modern drive-by. They used to drive by your community to decide if they wanted to go inside. Now they're going to go searching online, looking at reviews, and that'll help them decide which communities they tour and which communities they skip. And search engines are showing reviews as a standard part of the search results. The reviews on Caring are helping businesses rank higher and stand out. And Google also shows our reviews in the reviews around the web module, which I'm showing on the right-hand side here. We are a long-standing, credible review site and often appear very first in that module. So even if they don't land on Caring initially, they are highly likely to find the reviews on Caring and read about your community that way. And we watch them. We use third-party software to watch how they engage with our website and the search results. We see them click the listings with reviews and skip those that don't have them. So if you don't have reviews, you're likely losing business to your competitors who do. And search engine marketing firm Breit Local also does research with US and Canadian consumers. They've been doing this review study for over 5 years. I read their report regularly. And in every study in recent years, they found that the vast majority of people will trust an online review as much as a personal recommendation. In 2019, they also spliced the data by age demographics. They found that among US adults age 55 and older, 71% are now reading online reviews when researching local businesses. And they're reading an average of 7 reviews before they trust that business. So they're not just reading the most recent, they're going back and reading many reviews about your business. I mentioned that third-party software we use to watch them on our site. We watch them spend a lot of time in the reviews section on the listings. And for this demographic of the 55 plus, half won't even use a business that has an overall rating less than 4 stars. So this is really compelling data that you should consider and why you need reviews. On Caring, we've studied the influence of reviews on inquiry and conversion performance for our partners. We don't narrow our research to just positive reviews. We looked at the volume of reviews across all ratings. And we've done this analysis multiple times over the last 5 years and have repeatedly seen that the partner listings with 15 or more reviews see significantly more leads and move-ins than our partners that have only 1 or 2 reviews, or worse, no reviews. This, what you're seeing here, is just a sampling of some of the studies we've done, looking at data either across our entire partner portfolio for leads and move-ins for a specific year, or looking at listings for a specific partner portfolio. The results are obviously going to vary by community and operator, but the bottom line fact has been proven time and time again. Having more reviews can give a great boost to your community sales performance. This exciting data confirms how powerful online reviews are in the search and selection process in our industry specifically. I thought you might find it helpful to hear directly from the consumer reviewers about the influence that the reviews have on them, or what drove them to visit or give a review. These are real quotes from real consumers in reviews published on Caring.com since January 2020. You see here that many look to the online reviews to make their decision, and they're heavily influenced by what they read, whether it's positive or negative. Many of these folks are not avid reviewers. Their senior living review might be the first time they've posted an online review, but the stellar services they received really compelled them to take the time and effort to give a review. Or conversely, the services they received disappointed them so much they felt compelled to warn others. Their intent in most cases is not to slander your business. They're focused on helping others in their shoes too. And some even feel bad that they have to give a negative review. They wish they were receiving stellar services to be able to give a great review. As you see with the quote, unfortunately, I have to add to the bad reviews. It's important to understand these motivations and to ensure that you're not only delivering excellent senior living services, but that you're also getting your happy customers to share about that experience in online reviews, given how powerful they are. Okay, so let's talk about how you can do that, how you can get more 5-star reviews to support your sales efforts and earn your way to the Caring Stars 2022 award. A few years ago, we did a series of interviews with some of our partners who we thought were doing an excellent job with managing their online review collection. We wanted to know what they were finding to be most helpful in getting reviews. One of the most common themes we heard was that their organizational leaders had helped reinforce reviews as a priority, and that seeking customer feedback had been instilled deeply into their company culture and their standard operations. They told us that their employees were trained to understand the importance of and best practices with online reviews. Their leadership sends a clear message that customer feedback truly matters to the success of the business. And everyone throughout the organization is customer service oriented and taking the opportunities as they arise to get great online reviews. Think about what are some of the ways you're engaging your employees to get more customer reviews. I hope I give you some inspiration here today. At Caring, we have a review outreach cadence that we've built into our standard operations. When we refer family caregivers and seniors to local senior living communities, we follow up with those individuals to find out if they'd be willing to share a review for any of the communities they toured or selected. We also follow up to collect their feedback about how well our family advisors serve their needs. You'll see we have many high marks on FIFO.com with those consumer reviews of our referral services. Proactive outreach to your happy customers and their family members should be on your list. You want to do that and do it often. And your team should also be ready to seize on review opportunities that arise naturally in the course of their workday. For instance, when one of your residents or their family members tells you how happy they've been with your services, take a moment to thank them and ask them if they'd be willing to share that feedback online to help others get to know your services too. Create an elevator pitch with verbal responses for service compliments. Have handouts available, such as a flyer with information on how to review you online. And if someone emails you or mails you a testimonial, this is important. Don't assume they're okay with your staff posting that feedback online. That is private feedback they're sharing with you until they've opted into sharing it publicly as an online review. So encourage them to post their feedback, but don't do it for them. It's also important to consider the right moments to ask for reviews and the right platforms. We're going to be having a webinar in July that will give you a high-level overview of how to navigate 4 major review sites and how to help consumers use those sites to give their review of your community. So for instance, the young adult granddaughter of your resident is likely to have a Gmail account, and she's likely to be comfortable posting a review on Google. The adult daughter in her 50s and the residents may be better suited for a site like Caring that has multiple options tailored to them rather than just online and Gmail email requirement. So you need to match the reviewer to the best platform and best method for them to submit their review as one of your tactics as well. Nowadays, senior living searchers are a lot more active online and savvy about the reviews they read. On our site, they're most interested in seeing reviews from others just like them, not necessarily reviews posted by your staff. Staff reviews are great for recruiting sites like Indeed, but they're not allowed on Caring.com, and they really aren't good for other consumer sites like Google, Yelp, or Facebook. We do get emails and sometimes reviews that mention they saw staff reviews on other websites where the person didn't reveal they were staff. So it's a gotcha, and consumers are smart nowadays, and they don't like to see that. So you should focus on getting reviews from cognitively healthy residents and their family members and friends who have firsthand experience with your community services within 3 years of the review submission. That's a guideline on Caring.com. This is who the people who use our site want to read reviews from. Avoid asking home care agency staff or your community's vendors. Definitely don't ask your referral partners or anyone with a known or potential conflict of interest, such as industry professionals. Focus on the residents, their family members, and people touring the community as a potential resident or potential resident family member. Okay, on Caring.com, every listing has a write a review link, which is a custom link just for that listing. This is actually the fastest, easiest way to get more reviews, and it's available to any business listed on our site. We typically process these submissions within 3 business days, whereas other review submission options can take much longer. What's great about this link is that you're taking the consumer directly to the spot where they enter their review. They don't have to hunt around for it. They can just quickly enter their feedback and move on with their busy day. So don't tell them, go to Caring.com. Give them the direct link to your review submission form. Oh, sorry, we got my most popular question. I just want to make sure that person is aware. Yes, we are providing a recording and the slides after the presentation. So you don't have to keep furious notes, but definitely document your questions. Thank you for that question. Now, some tips with online submission. I mentioned this earlier, but this is really important. Avoid uploading reviews on behalf of the consumer. If they need help, refer them to our team for help, or use the phone option for them. You don't want to use employees' devices. You don't want the employees uploading those reviews for them. Can cause your reviews to get flagged and denied. And the form prompts the user if there's been any errors, such as if they missed the star rating or they've selected a screen name that someone else has already chosen. There's also an on-page message when they've successfully submitted the review, and we send a follow-up email to them as well when we have published that review. Okay, now for caring partners, we launched a review call-in line. Partners can contact reviews@caring.com to get that toll-free number. We believe this is the very first service of this nature in our industry, and we're so happy to provide it to our senior living partners. It's free of charge. And what you get the phone number, you give it to the consumers. We even have some review us on caring handouts that we provide to our partners with that phone number. The consumer calls during the phone business hours, speaks to a live agent who walks them through some questions. We record the call, we transcribe the call, and get it uploaded to the correct listing. Given all those extra steps in this process, it can take a few weeks from turnaround from call to review. But once it is published, we send a new review alert to the partner. So this is a great option for any seniors who aren't as comfortable online or don't have an email address, but would love to give a review for your community. We also have a tool for our partners in Partner Portal. For those of you using this tool to keep track of referrals, you'll see the marketing resources link from the homepage. That takes you to a wizard that will walk you through creating a review solicitation campaign. So you upload emails of the folks you want to ask for a review. You can add your business signature to the solicitation, and then it sends out an email to those folks. And we track how many reviews are generated from your campaigns. We don't tell you exactly who gave which review. We do allow consumers to remain anonymous, but we will tell you if you sent out 50 emails, you got 10 reviews, for instance, from that campaign. I also want to reassure you, we're not harvesting these emails for other purposes. We're only using them to ask for a review on your behalf. We don't even save these emails. So you'll want to keep that list handy if you need to keep track of which campaign went to whom. And we have found this has been a really effective, convenient tool for our partners. Many of the Caring Stars of 2021 use this tool to generate a high volume of reviews on their listing. Now, I often get asked what to say. I don't know what to say to ask for a review. This is a sample email you could send after recently receiving positive feedback from a satisfied customer. It starts by thanking the customer for their kind words. Then it shifts focus to helping more families and seniors just like her and her mom. And what a meaningful difference an online review could make for them. It lets her know it's not going to take too much of her time. And it makes it convenient by giving her a quick link to submit the review or the phone number if you're a caring partner. And it closes with focus back on serving the customer, presenting the business as open to receiving more feedback directly on how you can best serve her and her mom. This tactic helps you avoid negative feedback landing in the online review and encourages her to give you a chance to address those concerns, particularly if there are any you're not yet aware of. This is just one example. We're going to have a whole webinar in August where we're going to go deep on tactics and scripting for effectively asking for reviews. We'll have Emily A. Hay of Hey There Social Media presenting that information, and I'll be on hand to answer any questions with what's worked for caring as well. So you'll find that on our events page of our industry website if you'd like to attend that session to get more tips in this area. Okay, we sent out a bunch of emails on this, but just in case any of you missed those, we have retired our reviews by postcard program. We found this was the least effective way for senior living communities to get reviews. Many of the reviews we received from this method were incomplete or invalid. And USPS, hate to say it, has been having significant delivery delays for a couple years now. So we shifted to reviews by phone as a more effective method. If you have any blank cards remaining at your community, get those distributed out to consumers ASAP. If you notice that they have an old San Mateo, California office as the return address, those are no longer valid. Those should go straight to the trash can. We closed that office in December 2019, so be sure to discard those. We no longer offer the blank cards as of March, but if you have some with the North Carolina return address, that postage permit will still work through the end of September. But keep in mind what I said about USPS. It could take 1 to 2 months for us to get those. So that's why we're suggesting you get those blank cards distributed and returned as soon as possible and shift immediately to the phone option for any consumers who aren't comfortable online. Okay, now I've covered several methods here, and I want to give you an overview of the options. We allow one review, one published review per person per listing, okay? The consumer can retract that review and submit a new one. We can decline a review and they can submit a new one, but in the end, there should only be one published review per person per listing. So you should think about which is the best option for your customers. Online is the fastest, easiest method for anyone who has an email address and is comfortable online. That's where I would focus, and you can send them the link from your personal, from your professional email, or use the partner portal tools. Reviews by phone is a really high quality review methodology. We have a great conversation with that consumer, get a lot of detail in those reviews. It's convenient for the consumer, but it's slower than online. So you have to have patience with that method. Online submission we process within 3 business days. Reviews by phone will be weeks. So those are some pros and cons of each of those methods. Reviews by postcard we discussed, that's going away this year. So use up any inventory you have with the North Carolina return address. Some consumers need a lot of help, and that's okay. Our team is here to help them. Have them email reviews at Caring, and we'll take them through the process. That email, as well as a phone number, is also available for customer service. So if a consumer comes to your community staff and says, I submitted a review, it's not published, have them contact our customer service line, either the phone number or the email. We can research it, we can help them. Sometimes they think they submitted it, it didn't go through. They didn't get that on-site message, they didn't get the follow-up email, something went wrong with their submission. We can help them get a review. Just get them to reach out to our customer service team. Okay, I've created a 5-step action list to help your community work toward 5-star reviews. First, give some thought to which of your customers you know or are very competent, are happy with your services and can be reached by email. That's what I would call the low-hanging fruit, right? Once you've compiled that list, do that outreach campaign. You can use your professional email account or take advantage of Partner Portal. Try to focus on language on helping other families and seniors like them rather than doing you a favor. We have found that is highly motivating for this audience, and you saw some of that in the quotes I shared earlier as well. Another thing you can do is add a Review Us on Caring link to your website and employee emails as a regular reminder for customers about the opportunity to give feedback. It's convenient and doesn't require you to do a specific outreach campaign. However, it's not targeted to just the happy customers, it's open to whoever. And then definitely share the positive reviews you achieve on social media. This has been studied as social proof about the quality of your services, and it can also boost the quantity of the reviews. The crowd attracts the crowd. And also, I'm sure your employees would love to be celebrated for their work in this way too, especially if they were part of the services delivered that led to that 5-star review. And definitely respond to all negative reviews. That can also drive more reviews and increase your ratings. And I'm going to go into a study about that momentarily. All right, let's talk about why you should respond to reviews and why it's particularly important for negative reviews. So Breit Local, in addition to finding that consumers are going online to read reviews, they also found that most are reading the responses from the businesses to those reviews, and that they're having a big influence on whether or not they select that business from among their options. At Caring, we also surveyed senior living searchers about review response, and we found that over a third said it let them know the business is listening to customer feedback and cares about customer service. I'm going to give you some tips to help you post stellar responses. Before I do, here's that study I mentioned. Harvard Business Review analyzed tens of thousands of hotel reviews, and they found that when hotels started responding, those hospitality businesses received 12% more reviews thereafter, and 33% even saw an increase in their ratings, with their overall average rating rising by 0.5 star or more within 6 months of their first response. This is public information. I can provide that study. Anyone wants to see that information, email reviews at Caring. I'll gladly give you the link. I'm very excited to tell you about what one of our partners did with this study. I've shared this study in prior webinars. This partner decided to give it a test run. They looked at their response rate and review volume in 2019 versus 2020. And in 2020, they increased their volume of responses, and they saw very similar results to what Harvard found. They saw increased ratings and they saw more reviews. So that was very exciting. And this was a major senior living operator in the United States. So this is good data, and hopefully inspires you to pay closer attention to the reviews and get responses to them. If nothing else, at least respond to the negative reviews. You don't want to be disqualified from carrying stars for any 1-star or 2-star reviews across all time, not just the recent ones, any 1-star or 2-star reviews on your listing that lack a response can get your community disqualified from carrying stars consideration. I don't want that to happen to you. If it has factual errors and that's why you're not responding, email our team, give us the factual errors. We'll reevaluate that review, and we don't want fact errors on our site, so we can get that removed. If it doesn't have factual errors, it's just opinion, post a response so you don't get disqualified from carrying stars. All right, some of you aren't responding because you're afraid or you don't know what to say. So I'm going to cover some tips on that. Before I do, I think it's important to understand the really high integrity process we have for reviews that get published on our site and where most of the senior living reviews are coming from. Some businesses have the incorrect perception that most online reviews are fake, but on Caring, the vast majority are collected by phone from individuals for whom we have extensive real identity information. They're real seniors or seniors' family members who we've helped research senior living. So we know who they are, but we allow them to remain anonymous. For the online submissions, we have extensive vetting and protocols to ensure our program remains high caliber. This is just a high-level chart of the scrutiny a review goes through and what happens when it gets declined or published. If you have any questions on any of these steps, don't hesitate to reach out to my team, Reviews at Caring. We are happy to take you through this. We want you to understand and have high confidence. We are closely managing our reviews program, unlike some other sites where many reviews get posted and you have to flag them to get them taken down. We're the opposite. We're closely monitoring before they even hit our site. Okay, once they do, for our partners, we send an instant alert letting you know that a new review has been published on the listing. Inside that alert is the text of the review, a link to the listing so you can see the review on the site, and some specific actions you can take. You can contest the review, which means request removal, for fact errors or guideline concerns, or you can publish a public-facing response. Both of those options are conveniently linked right from that alert. And by using those links, you'll go into our highest priority response queues, which are typically addressed daily, but no later than 1 to 2 business days. For the older reviews or for those businesses that aren't partnered with Caring, you can still respond to reviews. You're just going to need to manually monitor your listing and email reviews@caring.com. Please include in your message which action you'd like to take. And if you're trying to publish a response, submit the response and we'll attach that to the review for you. And if you're contacting us to contest a request removal, please include the specific fact-based errors in the review or why you think it violates our review guidelines. Remember, we read every review before it's published, and the vast majority of reviews are from consumers we've helped through our referral services. So we don't really have an issue with fake reviews like some of the other review sites do, but if you think we missed something, don't hesitate to reach out with that information and be as specific as possible. This review is false, doesn't help us help you. This review has this specific fact error. Here's why it's factually inaccurate. Enables an efficient response by our team to your need. I also want to let you know, we are now integrated with 3 different review monitoring and response platforms. And these platforms not only give you information about reviews on Caring, they give you information about reviews on multiple websites. And through the integration, you can respond to Caring reviews and get into our priority processing queues. We have been integrated with reputation.com since July 2019. We added Consumer Fusion in May, and then Review Trackers is going live momentarily this month. If you're using a service that isn't listed here, they are not integrated with us, and you can encourage them to contact Reviews at Caring so that you too can respond to the reviews in our highest priority queue. Okay, now I created this action determination plan, if you will, to help you determine which is the best course of action when you get alerted about a review. You can't really ignore reviews anymore. That's not an option. You can't hide from your online reputation. It's good to know what people are saying about your business and to take strategic action to manage your reputation, or else you're letting someone else define your reputation for you and you're missing some excellent sales and marketing opportunities. So if the review has fact-based errors, and I'm going to go into fact versus opinion in just a minute, if it has fact errors, contest it. If it doesn't, respond. If you think it has review guideline errors, contest it or respond. And we have our review guidelines public facing. It's no secret what the rules are of our program. We're very transparent to consumers and providers alike. And I've included that link here for you if you'd like to read through those. This is a common mistake folks make, not being able to differentiate between opinion and fact. To be effective at getting reviews removed, you need to understand the differences here. These are some common complaint examples I see in senior living community reviews. So, the food is terrible is an opinion, and it's likely to upset you and your staff. That's totally understandable, but it's not a fact-based error, even if you disagree with it. By contrast, they serve meatball sandwiches 7 days a week could be contested as a fact error if your community doesn't serve that type of sandwich every day of the week. That's just one example. I've provided a couple others here too about staffing, cleanliness, and consumer word choice, when it's a fact, when it's opinion. I also want to make a note on the staffing because this is super common, comes up with senior living reviews. The community, the consumer will say they're understaffed. Consumer has the opinion that the community is understaffed. The community will come back and say we meet state standards. Many consumers have higher standards than the state resident to staff ratio. So really look for the fact-based opinions, like they only have one caregiver on the night shift versus I thought they were understaffed, or they didn't have the right staff to meet my dad's needs. Understanding the nuances between fact and opinion can really support you in responding and effectively getting these reviews removed when warranted. Some of you have probably already experienced this, but I wanted to give you another tip. Some consumer feedback is unfair. Sometimes it's even rude. Try to avoid an emotional gut reaction. Stay professional. Try to ascertain the fact errors. If not, publish a response and move on. To help you craft great responses to negative reviews, I've compiled a few tips and samples. Remember, your response has the ability to influence the prospective customers and sometimes can be more influential than the reviewer. So be gracious and grateful. After all, they're surfacing feedback that you may not have otherwise known about, and it gives you an opportunity to manage that reputation and be more influential than the feedback. Avoid debating the reviewer. Definitely don't disclose any private information. Try to be empathetic. I know this can be really hard depending on how grumpy and stressed and poorly worded the review can be. But the negative feedback can be more a reflection of their situation than your services. So avoid blaming them in the response. And definitely do not post the same response to every review. Consumers notice this, and it doesn't come across as authentic or high integrity. They don't think you mean it when you post the same words to every response. Another key strategy, get happy customers to post their feedback too. That'll push down the negative ones. I'm showing you here just a few examples that Caring Partners published in 2021 as their review response. These were some pretty hard reviews. They did great in responding. If you'd like more samples, contact Reviews at Caring or go to our directory, do some searches for your area, poke around, Read how your competitors are responding to their reviews. If they're not responding, that's another opportunity for you to differentiate. Keep in mind, I brought this up a couple different times. Keep in mind that you're speaking to the future customer more than the reviewer whose mind is likely already made up. Yes, your response is being published to the review, but it's the crowd visiting the listing that you can persuade. Imagine your response posted on a highway billboard or TV advertisement. It's not a private conversation between you and the reviewer. It can be judged by anyone on the internet. Another good thing to know about our site is we don't date your response. So no one sees any time difference between the review and the response. Take your time and craft an excellent reply. We also don't alert the consumer reviewer or enable a back and forth conversation. We publish the review and the response. That's it. These are attributes of review response on Caring that can help your community manage its reputation with greater ease. And with well-crafted response, you can also avoid making matters worse. Okay, most online reviews are actually positive. This has been analyzed and proven on multiple reviews website, and on Caring, it's true too. The majority are 4-star and 5-star positive reviews. Many businesses skip responding to these reviews and only focused on the negative, but I think that's a missed opportunity. These responses can be helpful to your marketing too. Here's a couple examples of partners, Caring partners who published responses to positive reviews in 2021. A few tips: show gratitude, just like with negative reviews. Be grateful for the feedback. Be conversational, but also maintain professionalism. Avoid the emoticons. This is a professional business correspondence, but do be authentic and conversational in your tone. And where appropriate, you can add relevant information about specific services or company values that received compliments to further persuade the prospects, but avoid being shamelessly promotional. It'll look spammy, and it has an ick factor. So you want to avoid the ick factor when you're adding other information to reinforce the compliments. Definitely promote your positive reviews in your social media. If you need help about understanding how to do that within reprint guidelines, don't hesitate to reach out to Reviews at Caring. We're here to help. One final word about contesting and responding to reviews, and I can't stress this enough. Please avoid disclosing any private information about the reviewer or your residents when corresponding with caring.com or any reviews platform. That correspondence can be subpoenaed if there were litigation involving a review. We also don't want private information sent to us. Please avoid disparaging or defaming reviewers in your messages to our reviews team, and definitely avoid disclosing healthcare details in review responses you publish as well. Our reviews processors are trained to look for possible HIPAA concerns, but it's important that your community also be mindful of this and avoid disclosing confidential or legally protected healthcare information. We did a webinar about this, all about HIPAA and review response last fall. I can make that available to anyone who needs those links, or you can visit our industry website in the webinar archive that I mentioned earlier. Okay, now let's talk about Caring Stars, and then I'm going to open it up to Q&A. Caring Stars is a long-standing list of award-winning senior living communities who have harnessed the reviews opportunity and have been recognized for their stellar services. Back in 2012, when we launched this program, it was the first of its kind for assisted living and memory care for those communities that were achieving a high volume of praise and taking the time to respond to reviews. Now, any senior living community or home care agency that's listed on caring.com can qualify if they meet the rigorous criteria that's based on consumer reviews. That's important because there can be a little confusion around this. Caring Stars winners are not determined by our team picking its favorites. There's no voting, there's no random drawing, and you definitely cannot buy the Caring Stars Award. This distinction is based on customer reviews on your caring.com listing. And while you don't have to be a partner to be a Caring Star, we have done some analysis of those who are. We compared our partners that had the award versus those who hadn't, and we found the winners averaged twice as many inquiries and 3 times as many move-ins than caring partners who hadn't won the award. We know the families want to narrow their search to the best, and we think this data helps reinforce that the program is working. Every year, Caring Stars generates positive content, media coverage, and social buzz, and boosts morale for the winning communities. Some of the winners put the badge on their websites. They put it in newsletters. We had one winner, he even told us they added the badge to their billing statements as social proof of the high quality services they're delivering. Both the reviews and the award can make for great content on your social media profiles as well. And the winners get featured in industry press and their local newspapers, which also helps raise awareness about your high quality services. We announced the senior living winners in November, but Caring Stars are celebrated year round on our site and by the winners themselves. In fact, if you go to our homepage right now, you'll see a giant splash across the top for Caring Stars. There are many ways that you can use this distinction in PR and marketing. We do a whole webinar for winners every year going through examples and try to inspire you. Here's what we do to help you. Every winner gets a free kit of marketing materials with several versions of the award badge, a press release template, and a social meme. We also send a winner certificate to every community. And in recent years, we started offering this widget you see on the left, and that helps you stand out as the best in your state and links right to those reviews so that they see it's not a fake award. You didn't buy this award. It's based on real reviews from consumers just like them. I hope that if we have Caring Stars winners on the call now, I hope to hear from you about how you're celebrating. And I also want to take a moment to applaud you. Congratulations to each and every senior living community who achieved this distinction. Bravo. As I mentioned, you can see who won in your state and county right from our homepage. This is really great way to get media attention and stand out from your competitors. You may have seen early in the presentation, I showed you search results. That badge is prominent. So hopefully you'll try to get this award this year, and congratulations for 2022, and congratulations to 2021 winners and winners in years prior as well. All right. Every year in this reviews webinar, we announce the upcoming deadline. So mark your calendars. To be considered for Caring Stars 2022, that's a mouthful. The deadline is October 15th, 2021. I know that sounds like a couple months away and that you have plenty of time, but we've seen that it sometimes can take a few weeks or months before you can get the review results you're after. So it's better you focused on reviews year round, but there's still time now if you rapidly respond to this opportunity. Step 1, audit your current profile. Does every 1-star and 2-star review have a response? What's your overall average rating? How many total reviews do you have? How many recent reviews do you have? Step 2, get more 4-star and 5-star reviews from your happy customers. Definitely avoid the invalid submissions. Resist the temptation to have employees upload reviews to the listing. Even if on behalf of a consumer, it can get those reviews flagged and declined. Our team is here to help those consumers who need help adding their review. And I think I probably said this about 5 or 6 times, but it's so important. And I hate having disqualified communities. Respond to all the 1-star and 2-star reviews, either effectively contest and get them removed or publish a response. We don't release the exact criteria in advance, but I can give you some suggested goals to have you be considered. First, make sure your listing has at least 10 published reviews by October 15th. Even better if you can get 15 or more based on the data we discussed early in this presentation. Try to have at least 3 or more new reviews published since the last Caring Stars deadline. So that was 10/15/2020. Have at least 1 in the current year. So have 1 that's in 2021 published on the listing. and at least one of those recent reviews having a 5-star rating. Across all the reviews over all time, you want to maintain an overall average rating of 4.5 stars or higher and get responses to those negative reviews. Remember, the goals I mentioned are not a guarantee of the award, but some general guidance on the reviews profile you want to aim for. We'll announce the exact criteria when we announce the winners. A few more notes, and then we're going to go to Q&A. Carrying stars is not based on the total reviews you have across multiple websites. We aren't counting your reviews on Yelp or Facebook, and those testimonials that were emailed or mailed to you privately by your favorite customers, those don't count either. To determine winners, we look at the original reviews published on caring.com listings, and we don't add up reviews across multiple listings. Each Caring Stars award is for the reviews on one listing on caring.com. And like the positive reviews, with the negative reviews, we're looking at public data on the Caring listing. A negative review isn't resolved if you sent a private message to that consumer via email, or you had a conversation with them and they convinced you they're satisfied with the resolution. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about resolution if it has a provider response or it's no longer on that listing. Once all reviews are in and processed, we audit 100% of the reviews on finalist listings. You can remind your employees about this audit. Every year, unfortunately, we have to take down some employee submitted reviews. It's not a good scenario, so just avoid it outright. It won't help you qualify for Caring Stars. Even if it slips through, we're going to catch it in the audit. So it's just a waste of your time. Really focus on the consumer submitted reviews only. We also, in states where licensing is required for certain care levels, we check the license. We make sure the community is still in good standing, and we have other quality assurance measures as well. After the deadline, we reach out to finalists to help prepare for the public announcement. We use the emails we have on file for the new review alerts. And if you're not in our partner network, reach out to Reviews at Caring to make sure we have the right contact information so that we can reach you if you qualify. We do our best to track down that information, but if you are actively trying to qualify, reach out to our team and make sure we have the correct email for notification should you win. We will provide winners the alert a few days before we go live publicly, and we ask that you keep that secret. And then we also recommend you monitor your online reputation by Googling your business name, particularly Google News, to see what the news media, senior living searchers online, and caring.com will see when we visit Google News in the final stages before we announce winners. There's a lot of PR done around this, so you want to see what others are going to see. And then watch for that announcement in November. We do a big splash on that. Okay, I will now take your questions. The first question I got was, can somebody move their reviews from Google to Caring, or are they two separate things? The answer is, on Caring, we require original content in the reviews. So if a review is published on other websites, that's grounds for removal from Caring. By the way, this most happens with negative reviews. You'll get someone that'll blast the same negative review across every review site they can find. That's grounds for removal from our site. Also, both Google and Caring have copyright and reprint requirements for reviews. So you can't copy and paste reviews from one site to the other. Those are two totally separate reviews platforms. However, and hopefully I didn't confuse you on this, Google has a feature when you search a business name called Reviews from the Web. So they have Google reviews, which is reviews they're hosting on their own site. But then they also have this feature called Reviews from the Web, where they show reviews on other sites like caring.com. So that is how people will see your reviews on Caring. And if they're Google searching, they're likely to see reviews on Google too. Thank you for that question. We also got the question about the presentation. Yes, we have a recording and a PDF of this presentation available for all registrants. We will be sending out an email tomorrow, and we have it on our partner website as well. And so thank you for that question. I love that question. It tells me that we're providing content that's helping you. So thank you for that. And then we got a question about the upcoming webinars I mentioned. I'm going to have links to sign up for those in the follow-up email, but you'll also find them on partners.caring.com in the events tab. So thank you for that question as well. We got a question about, can someone merge their listings? So if you have two different community locations, that would be two listings. If there's been a mistake and there's two listings with the exact same address, it's such as one property and somehow a second listing got created erroneously, in that case, we can combine it. But if it's two different locations, it is correct that there would be two different listings, and each of those locations can qualify for Caring Stars. We don't add the two listings together to get your review tally. Each listing is evaluated on its own. Does that individual listing on caring.com meet the reviews criteria for Caring Stars? And then if it's in the finalist set, if it appears to meet it, we then go audit all those reviews, make sure there weren't any mistakes made, make sure we have high confidence that when we add that Service Excellence Award, it was well-deserved from real reviews. These are great questions. I'm loving it. So I just want to give you a couple more minutes. Any additional questions? I think I've gotten to everyone that I've seen here. Let me just scroll real quick. Okay, well, if you think of any after, you'll be able to reach our team. Reviews at Caring. I'm going to have that contact information. I've said a few times. It's another thing I get teased about saying a lot, but it's such a helpful email. I wanted you to have it. But let's summarize before we go to contact information. We covered a lot of ground here. First, we talked about reviews are very influential for the consumers in their search and can help you meet or exceed your sales goals. But you need to actively outreach to your happy customers to get those 5-star reviews. And one way to do that is to build this into your company culture. So it's just normal, standard operations. It doesn't require a big effort. You can just build it into how you operate. Responding to reviews can boost your ratings, drive more reviews, and help you qualify for Caring Stars. So don't miss that opportunity either. The deadline for Caring Stars 2022 is October 15th, 2021. Some people get a little confused about that. Why do we have the 2022 award deadline in 2021? The reason is we want to give a couple months for the community winners to gear up for the home for the holidays and post-holiday rush, people looking for senior living after the December holiday in January and February. So we announced the Caring Stars in November, and that gives you a couple months to get ready with that marketing and PR so they know that you're a stellar community and stand out from the rest. Here's that contact information I promised. The phone number is our customer service line. Reviews at Caring is also customer service for reviews. And for those of you who are partnered with us, that's how you can get that toll-free review call-in line, review us on Caring handouts, and more. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I hope this has been helpful to you today. I know you're really busy. I appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to hear what I had to say. I'm going to prompt you with a survey to get your feedback on the presentation and also get your suggestions for what you'd like us to cover in the future. We definitely use these suggestions to craft upcoming sessions, so please don't be shy. I'm not going to hold it against you if you have any criticisms. Definitely, we value your feedback tremendously. So that's my presentation for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye for now.